I absolutely love waking up to this beautiful landscape, and today is especially pretty with all of the fog covering the farm. And I thought I'll make this little intro so that you can enjoy the beautiful sounds of the farm. Sometimes we just have to look around and see all of the beauty that surrounds us. Like this beautiful morning, and the sun breaking through the trees is just something to be enjoyed. Welcome to this channel. My name is Mariette, also known as die Boervrou. On this channel you will find knitting and crochet content, as well as some vlog footage of our daily life here on a farm in South Africa. I started to make these vlog videos in 2025 because I find them so inspiring and calming, and if you enjoy that too, please subscribe and stay a while. And keep watching to the end for episode 91 of the Crafty Stitches podcast to see the progress on all of my current knitting projects. I always see these beautiful mushrooms all around the farm when we go for walks with our dog Fluffy, and I must admit I'm not the best at taking footage of it only with my hands without a tripod, so I do apologize for the shaking, but they are just too pretty to not share. My third Tranquility Cowl that I'm currently working on, which is a gift, is progressing very well and it will be finished soon. I am preparing dinner, and just as soon as I added the vegetables to the pot, I remembered that I had some spinach and tomatoes that I wanted to add to tonight's dinner as well. So I took those out and quickly chopped it up and added it to the pot. It has been cold and rainy for the past few days, and today when we got out of the house we saw that we have not one but two trees down over our driveway. So raining or not, we will have to do something about this. And of course, I was not looking where I was standing, so you will see some shaky footage when I grab my camera and run in just a few seconds. The moment we were finished with the first tree, we drove up to the second tree, and in that time it started raining so much that we decided to leave it for the next day because we were soaking when we got home. Welcome to the Crafty Stitches podcast. My name is Mariette, also known as die Boervrou, and this is episode 91. Today that I'm recording this is Friday the 15th of May 2026, and I'm coming to you from South Africa. So today I decided I couldn't be bothered to make any notes, so I just opened up my notes from the previous episode, and I'm just going to use that as I only cast on one new project and I haven't completely finished anything since the last episode. I will add links to everywhere that you can find me underneath this video, and I am trying to be a little bit better at my Ravelry project pages, and all of the projects that I mention here today, I will link their project pages in the description box below this video for you. So before we jump into my projects, let me just quickly share what I am wearing. So the top that I have on is just a store-bought knit, and then I am wearing my Serenity Scarf with it. This is the size 1, knitted with 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. This was a Knotty Habit yarn, and yes, I will link the pattern for you in the description box. Let's jump into my works in progress because I don't have anything finished fully since the previous episode. So the first project that I would like to show you today is the third Tranquility Cowl that I am knitting for a gift. This is what it is looking like at the moment. So as you can see, I have bound off all of the stitches, but I still have to weave in all of the ends. Luckily, there is a beautiful little I-cord here on the side, so I can hide all of these ends in there. And then I have to wash and block and sew the two seams on the sides together. And when you wear it, it will look a little bit like this, without the ends, of course. It is beautiful. I really love this project, and I mentioned to my friend that every time I finish one, I'm so sad that it came to an end. But yes, I do have other projects that need my attention, so I will have to finish this one off and send it off to its recipient. The thing that I love about these projects that uses leftover yarns is if you use different types of colors, they really do look a lot different. So if you have that in mind and you look at the colors of this one, then my first one that I made looks completely different to me with a more brighter color combination. Even though I am using quite a few of the same yarns in this one, there is lots of different colors in it as well. So for this project I knitted size 1 in the Tranquility Cowl pattern. I used 3.5 and 4mm needles. All of the yarn in this project is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it has 366 meters on 100 grams. I dyed the main color myself, and then the rest of the yarns is part of the yarn swap that I did last December with my friend Leonie from Independence Yarn Crafts. Some of my own stash and some yarns that I dyed myself as well. So it is quite a mix of different memories in this project. And I don't know if I mentioned, but this is going to be a gift. So I have to get this finished because I would like to give it to its recipient to enjoy during this winter. I also linked all of the tutorials that I used in knitting this cowl in my Ravelry project page. Right, so my second almost finished project is my socks. Grab these blockers quickly. So this is the Tranquility Socks. I am still working on this pattern. Just right. So as you can see, I still have some weaving in of ends as well as on the leg, but this is the socks. I think they came out great. They are so fun and bright and sunny and happy with this beautiful butter yellow yarn that I dyed myself for the main color. And then the rest of the yarns is also yarns that was left over from the yarn swap, as well as some of my own dyed yarn and some of my own stash. So I also dyed this beautiful pink, and these were made on 2.25mm 9-inch circular needles until I reached the cuffs, and I decided to start knitting the cuffs with DPNs. I don't know why, I was just feeling like DPNs, and I knit the cuffs on DPNs and then bound off with a 3.25mm needle, as I usually do for my toe-up socks. And these socks also feature the version 2 heel that I have written into my DB toe-up socks method. And yes, I think that is more or less everything for this socks. I think this was a 56 stitch sock, and I do have some more weaving in of ends to do here on the side, because usually for socks I mostly only knit over the color changes, but because these are like two round stripes, I definitely saw that you have to weave in the ends as well to secure them. otherwise they keep making these big stitches and the jog just goes a little crazy. So for this pattern I will recommend that you have to weave in all of the ends. And yes, these socks have quite a lot of ends, so I would guess if you hate weaving in ends, this pattern will not be for you. But if you don't mind it that much, then it's a lovely pattern. But every color change has 2 ends that has to be weaved in, so lots of ends for this pattern. And so worth it, because just look at how beautiful they are. Stunning. I can just imagine all of the different look of socks that you could get with this pattern. I wonder what it will look like if you only use 2 colors for the main color and the stripes. Might be fun to do that as well. Anyway, so that is the Tranquility socks. I really like how these came out. So I now have 2 almost finished projects to really finish fully. I just decided if I wait until I fully finish these 2 projects, it might take me another 2 weeks before I am back here filming a next episode. So I decided to just go with it and get it up. Alright, so my third work in progress, which is an actual work in progress, is my 1898 hat that I'm currently also knitting as a gift. So for this project I am using the SMC Select Extra Soft Merino Alpaca yarn, which is a 80% superwash merino, 20% baby alpaca with 130 meters on 50 grams. And this is in the color 06002 dark gray. It looks very blue on camera and in my reels, but it is actually a dark gray. But this is what I have so far. Let me just grab back. So this hat is knitted, I would say, in 2 parts. You start knitting flat on the brim portion and you knit around, fold it over, and then pick up stitches on the inside to knit the crown portion of the hat. And that is what I'm currently busy with. So I'm knitting this hat on 4.5 millimeter needles. I'm not using the recommended yarn thickness or needles, but I have knitted 2 of these hats in this exact yarn before, and this seems to work out great. So I wasn't sure if I made gauge for my previous hats, but I finished the brim portion and steamed the brim and then fitted it for the head size, and it looks great. So I started to do the top portion, and I still have a ways to go. I was a little bit distracted with the new project, and that is why this one is not finished. But as I mentioned in my previous episode, I am only making one other alteration for this pattern, and I am adding 2 more repeats in between the 2 ear flaps. So if you read the pattern, that will be a repeat, 2 repeats of A and B on the headband in between the ear flaps on the forehead portion. But yes, that is the 1898 hat. Very happy with this project, and I think if I pick it up and I start knitting on it again, it'll just about fly off my needles. So yes, I should get back to that. Right, the last project that I have to show today is a pair of gloves that I'm knitting for myself. So I started the gloves and I've knitted until the thumb gusset was completed, put it on and saw that it was a bit too big. I then took my previously knitted mittens and I put them on, and I'll show you what I mean. And I saw that this has been a problem with all of, well, it's not a problem, but this has been present for all of the previous gloves or mittens that I made for myself. And it is this bit of fabric that seems to be too much. So I decided that I want to try and get rid of this flap extra fabric, because I find that especially in the mittens it causes my mittens to do that quite a bit. And yeah, I want something a little bit more snug fitting. So I ripped back the part that I already finished, and then I took away some stitches and made it a bit smaller, and then decided to do a little bit of an increase on the side here. So this is now what I have so far of the gloves. It is on DPN, so it's a bit stiff. You can't really see all of the detail that much, but that big flap is not present at the moment. As you can see there, it is snugly fit to my hand, and I really like that. So I hope this will come out as I envision it. I'm making gloves, as I said, with a little thumb gusset insert portion there, and I'm doing a few increases on the side here to be more shaped, I would say, as my hand is a little bit shaped. And as you can see, it is quite a bit smaller than the previous ones that I made. Anyway, so this is made with 2.25 millimeter Chaigu DPNs, and I really have to say I'm loving knitting gloves on DPNs. So I have now finished 1, 2, 3, 4 increases, so that is about 1/3 of all of the increases for the thumb gusset, and it won't be too long before I see if this is properly fitting me or not. I already started the second cuff for the left hand, because that is for my right hand. And this is all that I have done for my second cuff. I actually knitted both cuffs and then put down the one cuff and knitted the glove to the thumb, and then I had to rip back all of the work, including the other cuff, because it was too big. So yes, the reason why I actually knitted the both cuffs is I thought that because I'm using a 2.25 millimeter needle instead of a 2.5 that I used for these, that it will be a little bit smaller, but for some reason my gauge is looser and it is exactly the same size and gauge as the 2.5. So I had to go down a little bit on the sizing to get it smaller around the wrist and smaller around the palm, this part of my hand. Right, so for these gloves I'm also using sock yarn, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, with 366 meters on 100 grams. And this yarn I have dyed myself with acid dyes, it is exactly the same yarn that I used for my Fairy Lily sweater, my purple one. So yes, that yarn has made quite a few projects, and I still have a lot of that purple left, so I can still make quite a few things. All right, I think that is everything for my projects. I haven't touched my 2 blankets since the previous episode. As you can see, I'm still working through the yarn swap yarns, and I just finished working with it for now. I do have one more thing that I would like to make with some of the leftovers, so we will see if I can get that right. Otherwise, I will just give it up and put it all into my Brioche Memories blanket. So keep an eye out for the next episode of the podcast to see what I have decided to do with the little bits and pieces that I have left of the yarn swap. Will it go into another project, or will it all just go into the Brioche Memories blanket? I don't know yet. Stay tuned to find out. That is it from me for this episode. Please let me know in the comments down below this video what projects you are working on. I love to chat to you about those. I hope that you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and remember to always make time for the real treasures in life. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you soon in the next video. Bye!